After being a hardcore PJ Masks fan for 8 years, imagine my surprise when I see this video titled, "What if PJ Masks was a young adult show?" This channel is awesome, by the way. I highly suggest checking it out. After 8 years of having a college AU of my own, I was so excited to see someone else doing the same thing. At first I thought it was one of those weird clickbait YouTube videos that we get with PJ Masks related stuff all the time, but I started watching it and my immediate thought was, I have to give my thoughts on this. This is such an awesome video, so give some love to OP and let's get into it.
I tried redesigning the characters in like 2020 or something, and my friends would jokingly make fun of me for it, which is perfectly fine.
These redesigns are so good. Dude, where was I? Where was this? Why did I not see this?
But I still see the potential in this little show. Like, it brings up the question, how do these kids transform? Who gave them this huge totem pole headquarters thing? And why is it literally in the middle of town, or like technically the edge of town, and nobody questions it?
No, seriously, because there's literally, I think it's Heroes of the Sky, they sell merch of the totem pole. It's just weird.
I went on Reddit to see what parents thought of PJ Masks, and let me just read a couple opinions out. I hate this show, but I obsess over the mythology of it.
You just described why I've been obsessed with it for 8 years, because I latch on to things that don't make any sense. There is not one thing in the show that makes sense. Literally nothing. I just can't stop thinking about it. I don't understand. Like, Luna? Like, seriously, there's no way she's a human, dude. There's no way she's a human, I'm telling you.
And Luna Girl is a whole mood and I love her. I hate those stupid PJ pests, except for you, Greg. Stay sweet.
Luna is single-handedly, like, the reason I got into it, okay? And, like, seriously, the PJ Masks suck. They suck except for Gecko. Like, this is the only right opinion, okay?
It's a pretty simple concept. Kids are given powers and then turned into military weapons, basically. The villains are the kids who recently, or I guess it doesn't have to be recent, escaped from the company and started rebelling. In season 5-ish, it's revealed that their powers come from a thing called the PJ Crystal.
I am still not over the PJ Crystal. My mind cannot process that there is actual PJ Masks lore in the show. I only had season 1 for so long, and like, we did not get any answers. It is insane to me that the PJ Crystal even exists. Like, it's been years, and I still cannot process it.
She holds herself to an impossibly high standard, but she's not closed off. She's also a huge nerd and very into comic books, like in the actual show.
So canon. All of it. Canon. Canon.
Connor is a gymnast who also probably goes for runs in his free time because he's speedy. He also enjoys football because that's canon, hates dogs, and is terrified of water.
Canon. Thank you.
He's quiet and solitary like a cat.
You did not just call Connor quiet. I'm sorry, you did not just call him quiet, dude.
What are you doing? Make them roll away! I've got a better idea. I'll spin this one until it gets extra dizzy. I'll race this one around the city until it's totally lost. I'm just going to run mine as far as I can. This is amazing exercise. Bye!
I never thought I would see an animatic and like fan art of Catboy Squared. This is amazing.
The final one is Greg, or Gecko, and he is kind of my personal favorite, and he's apparently a lot of people's favorite.
Of course, Gecko is your favorite. If Gecko is not your favorite, you are wrong. That's just the way it is. I don't make the rules, I'm sorry.
Within the show, he's the sweetest and youngest of the PJ Masks. Here, he's basically the Adrian Agreste of the characters.
You did not just call him Adrian Agreste. Don't do my boy like that.
Greg is a golden retriever boy before that was even a thing, and he's way nicer to the villains. A lot of people in real life think he and Luna Girl like each other, but I'll cover that later.
Luna Girl! My bro did not just mention Luna Girl. I could go on a rant about Luna Girl, bro. I'm sorry. It's been my life for like 8 years, like
Greg has his uncle in the show.
Oh my gosh, Greg's uncle! You don't understand. I'm always talking about Greg's uncle because his uncle and his mom are like the only family members mentioned in the show, and he gave Greg like a moon rock, and I just think he's so based for that.
I'm thinking that his uncle is the CEO of the company and basically chose Greg and his friends to use for the experiment. I saw this clip of a recent season where the kids literally summon animals from their chest plate things. How?
Oh no! How dare you put the PJ Riders in there? Jump scare. You need a trigger warning for that stuff.
And basically making the gang go to space and inventing a billion other heroes to sell toys. They definitely are.
When I saw the PJ Riders, my first thought was merchandise. And it's funny, because it's really hard to find merchandise of them. I'm guessing that whatever small amount of merchandise they did have did not sell at all, because those stupid, horrifying animals are ugly as sin, and I hate them. I hate the PJ Riders with all of my heart, and I will die on that hill.
Anyway, these kids basically got a retrovirus put in them to give them traits of their animals. What their chest implant does is sit just underneath their skin, so it has like a faint glow that's always there, but when they need their animal traits, the implant glows and activates the genes.
I love science-based approach to superpowers. I think it is so much cooler than just magic. I am living for this right now.
Oh, also, because their powers are connected to their chest plant things, I feel like there could be, like, definitely a She-Ra corruption or gem cracking thing where their implant is damaged and they go crazy.
I had this exact thing in my, high school AU that I made when I was 12. Amaya's amulet gets damaged and she loses her memories and kind of goes insane. And then Heroes of the Sky, the first episode of season 4, it was like a 4-part special. I mentioned it earlier. Amaya loses her powers, forgets the PJ masks, goes and gets new friends. I was dying. Stuff like this happens all the time in the PJ Masks fandom. I don't know why. I call it the PJ hive mind.
The other villains were experiments too, and they were sick of it, so they ran away. Romeo just wants to experiment on everyone, basically, and turn everything into an enhanced version of itself.
Insane Romeo is such a big deal in this fandom, and you hit the nail right on the head. I love you for that.
Gecko is also probably very book smart, but not very street smart or good at picking up social cues, which is why people perceive him as awkward.
Autism. It's autism. We established this. Gecko is autism creature, autism incarnate.
Also, it's funny how in later seasons of the show, the villains occasionally have to team up with the PJ Masks to stop Romeo, because his goals are always way more evil than theirs.
No, you don't even know, bro. This kid is insane. He is like the only character in the show besides Octabella that is truly evil. He has attempted mass murder multiple times. He tried to kill 6 of them at once.
In the show, her entire motivation is to, or it was before season 5 complicated everything with the concept of power crystals, steal toys.
I have so many thoughts about this. Honestly, this could warrant its own video. Basically, what they did is that they screwed up Luna's arc because her motivation was just boredom, and then they introduced her sister Matsuki, which takes care of that problem, and then she has no motivation anymore.
Also, can we talk about her name for a second? Why is she Luna Girl and not just Luna? They do refer to her as Luna occasionally.
Yeah, I do not have an answer for this. I have always wondered the same thing. I do know that another working name that they had for her was Moon Girl, but for obvious reasons they didn't go with that.
Could make it so that her, superhero name was Moon Girl or something.
Stop!
She and Catboy actually interact the least, I think. Gecko often gives her a chance, and Owlette is usually arguing with her, but sometimes they do get along.
Luna's entire character in the show is that she harasses them all the time, but the second she's in trouble, she does not hesitate to ask for help. then she bullies them the entire time that they're trying to help her. But it's weird, because sometimes it's just because she wants attention. Like, there's a whole episode where she bullies Owlette because she wants to be invited to her sleepover. Like, this is a recurring thing, and I thought they were gonna go somewhere with it, but then they just scrapped it entirely one day, and I'm still not over it.
All the heroes and villains, except Romeo, even in the real show, have, like, pretty good chemistry. Does that make sense? It creates depth entirely by accident.
This is one of the main things that makes the show so good. Like, there's a reason everyone's a multi-shipper. It's because the characters do work so well together, and it's interesting to watch.
My personal headcanon with their friendships is that she's most hostile towards Owlette in like a Catra Adora sort of way.
Did you just compare Lunalette to Catradora? I love you forever.
But she's kind to Greg because he is just the sweetest one. Even if she's a villain, there's kind of no excuse for her to be mean to him. She'll be taunting the others, and then he'll say hi to her, and she'll be like, "Hey, Greg."
You get me. You know what's up. This is the exact reason that I'm so obsessed with Lunico.
In the real show, these kids would be too young for relationships anyway, so I know the writers aren't really going for anything.
A little birdie told me that this is not true. The writers have ships.
She had dirty blonde or like light brown hair.
This is so funny to me. I always thought that if her hair wasn't silver, she'd be a redhead. She just has redhead energy.
Night Ninja's first voice actor, kinda like Romeo's first voice actor, had the best delivery.
You can say zesty. It's okay. You can say zesty.
Just found out, the voice actor's name is Trek Pacino, who I found out is currently 24 years old. I'm 19.
Luna's voice actor, Brianna DeGano, I think that's how you say that, is like a year older than me. So it's crazy to me because when I watch season 1 and I hear like her little kid voice, I'm like, that's how old I was when the show came out?
Also, I found out that Trek Pacino is a theater kid. Go figure.
I'll be back. Soon you'll see.
Night Ninja singing Hamilton was not on my 2024 bingo card.
Has the power of this. And occasionally that. Okay, so he calls them...
Okay, so this isn't a power. This is actually just the password to get into Mystery Mountain, which is like another realm. I actually know the password. That's embarrassing. But he does have ninja fingers introduced at some point, which is just magic. It's just magic.
Sticky splats, but that name is a little childish, so I'm calling it like ectoplasm.
The sticky splat to ectoplasm pipeline is real.
I feel like he'd be pretty androgynous.
This is the general consensus. You know what's up.
Maybe like Nori Nakamura.
That's so much better than Nick, the fandom name. I haven't heard that one in a while. He was named Nick for a while.
In my show, they would be little kids he rescued from being experimented on.
Single mom Night Ninja stays winning.
The matchup is probably him versus Connor. They're both leaders, but Nori is arrogant and sassy, while Catboy is very dry about everything.
Ninja Cat. Yes!
That's all of the main heroes and villains, but I figure I could do little sketches of the others. There's this anti-hero called Armadillon.
Armadillon? I don't know. I did not expect you to include Armadillon. Oh my gosh. Hashtag justice for Armadillon, y'all.
But in my show, they definitely like both box each other, and Greg is so sweet, but he is sick of Dylan.
This is so canon. Gecko is like kind of nice to him, but the PJ Masks hate Dylan. The PJs picked on Dylan so much that they bullied him off the show for 2 seasons. And when he came back, they invited him to their team, which is disgusting. And fortunately, he turned the invitation down, so like, good for him. He's an autism allegory, I swear, and I will always respect his character development for not putting up with their crap. PJ Masks lore goes hard, y'all.
There's also this clip of Romeo manipulating Dylan.
Do I say it? I'm gonna say it.
Let's chit-chat, muscle boy.
I feel like Dylan would be kind of a Homelander person, where he desperately wants validation.
Like I said, he spends the entire time on the show trying to become part of a group, trying to become included, and everyone hates him.
she's a cute character. It's not up to me whether I think making the Chinese girl a dragon transformer who speaks formally with no contractions is a little weird, but oh well.
Anne Yu has the deepest lore in the whole show. Basically, she's 2,000 years old, and she was trapped inside this magical gong, like a genie, kind of. And I don't know the whole Mystery Mountain lore or whatever, but she's from an ancient culture, if that makes sense.
See you around, your dragoness. You know,
I assume the PJ Masks are, like, set in America.
Actually, PJ Masks is based off of a French book series, so it's set in France, we're pretty sure.
Then in season 5 of the real show, everything goes insane, and now it's not called PJ Masks anymore, it's called PJ Masks Power Heroes, and there's 10 heroes.
Do not get me started. I am hoping that Romeo finds the Infinity Crystals and wipes out half of the population, because literally why? Season 5, like, pulled a miraculous, and suddenly there's just an entire Avengers team. Like, why does this need to be? Why does this exist? The pre-Season 5 characters didn't even get the development they needed. They literally have characters that show up for, like, 4 episodes, and then leave forever because there's too many characters!
Like, what is this design? Why does he look like that? But, I don't know, maybe there's a reason.
I can't even be mad at Ice Cub existing, because he's just that adorable and that perfect that you cannot hate him.
Then there's Newton Starr, whose human form is literally the nerd emoji.
They literally said, let's make this kid look like the stereotypical nerd. The physical embodiment of actually.
And I don't mean to be evil to this kid, but his hero form reminds me of Mustard and
Foul! 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 How dare you! We said the same thing about Anne Yu.
Here's a quick redesign. Then there are these other villains called the Wolfie Kids. They're werewolves, and honestly, they're adorable.
His name is Kevin because he's supposed to be like the dumb comic relief kid, I guess. But it's kind of funny because although he started out that way, as the show progresses, they make him more of an actual character. He becomes friends with Gecko. They actually went from making him like the dumb comic relief to the smart one.
The girl's little sister, who is a moth. I don't know if I want to keep her in the show, because that removed Luna's whole thing of being alone.
This is what I said earlier! You know what I'm talking about!
Then there's a minor villain, Octobella.
A minor villain? A minor villain? Octobella is the #1 most evil character in the show. She has no good motive, and she traumatized Gecko so bad that he literally stayed home once. She's terrifying. What makes her a good villain is that she doesn't have a motive. She's just a psychopath.
Season 1 would be the lighthearted one, Season 2, everything gets dark, and at the very end of the show, basically, I imagine that the kids shut everything down and get to just go to school and have mundane lives.
my new robo-floats will patrol the streets and scare everyone. No one will dare leave their house.
Romeo canonically invented COVID.
I'm coming, Luna! But your powers!
And on that note, I'll quit my yapping. Sorry for being so autistic and actually on you. This show has been my main special interest for the past 8 years, and my interest isn't dying anytime soon. I absolutely love this AU. I love the cool content that's coming out of it. I would totally watch it if it was a show. Everyone go watch the full video linked in the description if you haven't already. It's such a good video. And on behalf of our very small fandom, thanks for giving us a boost. Everyone go check out Terry's channel. She's awesome. And I hope you liked my deranged rambling. I don't know if I'll do it again. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you.